This newly built Mazda RX7 FD triple rotor 20B mechanically is ready to race. When the car was finished, a body kit was imported from Japan and put on the car. But when it was given preliminary scrutineering for sports sedans where it's going to run, the bodywork didn't meet the regulations, in quite a number of areas. Every man and his dog then had a go at the bodywork, and the kit was chopped up so badly that it ended up just being chucked in the bin. My job is to construct a body for this car comprising the two front fenders, the front bar, side skirts and rear guard overs. I've got to do it with a rule book in hand because this car is going to get put under the magnifying glass as far as meeting regulations, given that it didn't comply the first time. The client's come up from Melbourne, a 12-hour drive, brought the car up. We've spent a couple of hours talking through all the various options about what we want to do and what he wants, and he's got a few more things to decide and let me know, and then we'll have a final design package. The client has supplied me with 4 aftermarket body kits, not designed for racing but for road use, and there's a 5th one on the way that I'll get early next week. My job is to turn this lot into a body kit that will deliver a body that meets the rules of sports sedans and is aerodynamically as efficient as I can make it. started doing some preliminary work joining the two front bars together, but really I've been waiting on this pair of front guards that we've got in from America, because everything that I sculpt forward of the doors has to line up with the leading edge of those doors. And now I've got the guards, I can start working on them. I don't need the front bar or the bonnet, which I'm also waiting on, to do this, because it just bolts in place on both sides. I've got to cut the guards, so we're going to cause some damage before we do some good. I've got to cut these guards, clear these huge tyres, and then I can look at what flares can go on them. But right now I've got to get these guards so they fit in the standard position. That gives me the reference points that I need to then be able to sculpt off that. I've got both guards bolted in place at 4 points, and I've checked the alignment with the doors and opened the doors, and these are fitting as a pair of factory guards would fit, with the exception of the cutout that I had to make over the wheel arch. The tyres are about 75mm to 80mm outside the factory bodywork, so it definitely needs some serious flares. Let's consider our options. This is one of the pieces left over from the body kit. It's got a nice shape to it, a flat edge. But the reason that this would be knocked back is the flare doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the bodywork. It only goes to here, and then there was a recess panel underneath it. So although it's a nice shape, it doesn't go down far enough. And looking at it, it's not wide enough either, although I could fix that. So let's go to my stock flares. These are 100mm flares that I carry in stock and sell for guys who customise their own cars. These suit an older model car with a raking redesign, but I just don't like them on the car, so I've rejected those. And I've got the rear flares that I put on the back of cars. To me, they look a really good fit. Obviously, I've got to cut them and blend them. So what I'll do is I'll find where the overlap points are and trim these, and then attach them to the factory guard. Screwing on something like this saves yourself a ton of work if you can find something off the shelf. Yeah, I can scratch build flares, but this is a much faster way to do it. So let's screw these bad boys on and see what it looks like fat.